Types of bills and veto power of president. Good day to all. Today again I have came up with a series for the aspirants preparing for prelims or any other state exam. I will be providing short notes so that they can be revised at the end because usually it becomes very difficult to revise during the end of for the exams. So I have again made the one pages for the various types of bills. There are basically four types of bills from. So let's start with the first one, ordinary bill. In ordinary bill, Lok Sabha enjoy equal powers with respect to Rajya Sabha. We will discuss it in detail later. Secondly, in ordinary bill, President enjoy three types of veto: absolute veto, suspensive veto, and pocket veto. What are veto powers? Let's first discuss the veto powers of President. Veto powers of President. President's assent is called the veto power of President. Supposedly, a bill has been passed in both the houses of the parliament and uh, and it is sent to President. President giving assent or withholding the assent is termed as the veto power of President. It is also termed as the power of the chief executive to temporarily or permanently prevent enactment of legislature. Suppose the legislature that has been passed by the parliament is somehow been faulty or uh, is not in the best interest, so it can be stopped at this third point or the final point of president assent through the veto power of president. When a bill is presented to president, it has four options: give assent to the bill, and the other three are termed as veto powers of president. So discussing them one by one, let's come first with the absolute veto. Absolute veto. President withholding assent to the bill is termed as the absolute veto of the president. What is absolute veto? Suppose a bill is presented to the president and president withhold giving assent to the bill and bill become nullified. So it basically prevents the bill from becoming an act. It can only be used in case of ordinary bill, money bill and finance bill. Remember, it cannot be used in case of constitutional amendment bill. We will learn that further in this lecture. Again, a very important point. Absolute veto of president is not a discretionary power of president. It can only be used on advice of Council of Minister headed by PM. So you must be thinking that if the absolute veto uh, withhold the assent to the bill, so why a running government or the executive try to withhold the assent to the bill? So where in the constitution or the parliament president will be using this kind of power? So I have given two examples where absolute veto can be used. First, a private member bill. Suppose a bill is introduced by a private member. Who is a private member? Any member other than the ruling party introducing the bill is termed as a private member. And very important, and any member of the ruling party that is not part of COM is also a private member. If he also introduced the bill, if he also introduced the bill in the parliament, it also be termed as the private member bill. So in this kind of bill, president can use absolute veto to withhold the assent to the bill. Secondly, suppose a bill has been passed both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha by the previous government, and after elections or due to any discrepancy, new government come to power, it can use absolute veto to withhold the assent of the bill that was passed by the previous government. So these are the two instances where absolute veto can be used. Now coming to the second one, suspensive veto. In this, President may send the bill for reconsideration of Parliament with or without suggestion. Supposedly, a bill came to the President for its assent. In the first situation, it can give its assent, and absolute veto, it can withhold its assent on recommendations of COM. But in this case, he enjoyed discretionary power to send back the bill for reconsideration of Parliament. It is a very unique kind of power enjoyed by President and is also a discretionary power of President. It can only be used in case of finance bill or ordinary bill. We will be studying all the kinds of bill in the lecture further. It is a discretionary power of President. If Parliament, very important, if Parliament pass the bill second time with or without changes, if Parliament pass the bill for the second time with or without changes, President has to give assent to the bill. There is no option other than giving assent to bill available to the President when the bill is passed for the second time in the Parliament after reconsideration, whether changes have been made or not. Now coming to the third type of veto, pocket veto. Pocket veto is basically a situational power that is enjoyed by the President. In the Constitution, it does not prescribe any time limit within which President has to give assent to a bill. It is nowhere written. So, bill can be laid on the table as long as President want. So, it can be termed as a situational discretionary power of President. I have not written here situation. You can please add on situational discretionary power of President. Thirdly, it can be used for only ordinary bill, finance bill. While discussing pocket veto, you have seen that bill can be laid on table as long as for President want. But considering US President, it has to pass the bill within a particular time frame. So it is often said that the pocket of Indian President is wider than the pocket of US President. You can use these kind of phrases in your mains answer writing. Okay. So these are the three types of veto powers that are enjoyed by the Indian President. Now there's a fourth one, qualified veto. It is not part of Indian model. It is not part of Indian presidential or Indian model. When President sent back bill for reconsideration, in suspensive veto, in qualified veto, if a President sent back the bill for reconsideration, the legislature has to pass it again for the second time with higher majority than the previous one. The various types of majorities, I have made a video on this. You can first watch that video. You will be understanding the various types of majorities. So, the bill has to be passed with a higher majority from simple to special majority, and then only President is bound to give his assent. If the bill is not passed by higher majority, President is not bound to give his assent to the bill. So it is a very, very unique type of veto power enjoyed by US President. Okay. So coming back to the types of bills, we have done here ordinary bill. For ordinary bill, President enjoy absolute veto, suspensive veto and pocket veto. And after that, each house independently has to pass the bill, ordinary bill with simple majority, independently. The third point, it can be public bill or private bill. I have told you what is private member bill, and public bill is the one which is introduced by government, or it is introduced on the prior recommendation of the president. Majority of transaction happen through ordinary bill. Majority of our transaction that are going in our parliament is usually take place through ordinary bill. Above Lok Sabha equal to Rajya Sabha, it basically means that both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are having independence over the passing of the bill, introduction of the bill and rejection of the bill. It can be introduced in both house, it can be rejected by both the house, and again it can be passed by each house independent of each other without any obligation one towards other. Now coming to the second type of bill, that is money bill. It is very important bill, very important bill. It has high probability for a question in the prelims exam. Bill which contains provisions only mentioned in Article 110. Any bill that is containing the provisions mentioned in Article 110 will deem to be termed as a money bill. There are basically 7 provisions or conditions that is mentioned in money bill. You can read them after that from the Constitution of India. 7 provisions. Any bill having any of the 7 provisions will be termed as a money bill. Secondly, money bill president can give assent yes, and it can also withhold the assent. So president enjoy absolute veto and no suspensive and pocket veto in case of money bill. Here Lok Sabha enjoy more power than Rajya Sabha. What it signifies that the money bill can be introduced only and only in Lok Sabha. That is very important point. Money bill can only be introduced in Lok Sabha. And another point, it can only be introduced on prior recommendation of president. So what this line signifies that on prior recommendation of president, it means that money bill will always be a public bill and cannot be a private member bill, because it requires prior recommendation of the president. The second point, Rajya Sabha cannot reject or amend by its virtue of any legislature by any virtue of its own legislative power. Rajya Sabha cannot reject a money bill. Lok Sabha has tremendous power on money bill with respect to Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha can only delay maximum 40 days, nothing more than that. Can only delay it for 14 days and cannot reject the bill. So Lok Sabha enjoy wide powers with respect to money bill in comparison to Rajya Sabha. That is a very important point. Now next one, if money bill not passed in Lok Sabha, government has to resign. So this shows us the importance of money bill. The money bill is so much important that if it is not passed in Lok Sabha, government has to resign. It's a symbolic resignation because government has to prove its majority on the floor of House. The budget, that is the annual financial statement in Article 112, is presented in Parliament in the form of money bill only. It is a public bill because we have done it is introduced on prior recommendation of president. Power to decide and certify money bill is with speaker. It is a very important point. Any power to decide and certify money bill is with speaker and speaker alone and cannot be challenged in court of law. You cannot challenge the validity of a law, whether it's a money bill or not, in the court. And if the speaker has certified that this bill is money bill and he's certified that this bill is money bill, his decision will be final and cannot be challenged in court. That's a very, very important, and it can be considered as a discretionary power of speaker. Now coming to third type of bill, the finance bill. Its definition is given in Article 117. You can read afterwards from the Constitution of India. Finance bill is a combination of money matters and ordinary matters. It combines both the money and ordinary matters, so it is a combination bill. It is a bit of a complex in its procedure. So let's study. In terms of passage, supposedly it has been introduced in House, and now it enjoy equal power with respect to both the houses. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha enjoy equal powers when the bill is introduced. Both houses have to pass it. Both houses have to pass it with simple majority and independent of each other. Unlike in case of money bill, Rajya Sabha don't have any maximum period of 14 days or any obligation. It has independence for the passing of the bill. It's like you can consider that for the passage, Lok Sabha equal to Rajya Sabha act like a ordinary bill. And in term of introduction, it is introduced like a money bill, that is only a public bill and can be introduced Lok Sabha only. So for the introduction purpose, it is like a money bill, and for the passage, it is like an ordinary bill. That is why I have mentioned earlier, it is a combination of both the bills. Example can be taken as the IBC 2016, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Act 2016. Here, President enjoy absolute veto, suspensive veto, and pocket veto. The third type of bill and the final one is called the Constitutional Amendment Bill, CAB. Its definition is given in Article 368. You can study afterwards. Very, very important point to here note that it can be a public bill or a private member bill. It is very, very crucial and very important point to note. I have designed this chart, or you can say the one pager, in such a manner that this portion hold all the public bills and private member bills, and these hold all the public bills. I have very precisely designed this format, so I recommend you to please copy paste like the way I have done, or you can take the screenshot, or can also take a printout of it. I recommend better to draw by yourself, so it becomes easy to learn and understand. Constitutional Amendment Bill, Article 368. Firstly, public and private bill. I have told you what is a public bill and what is a private bill. Public bill is that which is introduced on the prior recommendation of the President, and private bill can be introduced by any member other than the COMs. Even the ruling or the non-ruling party can introduce. And Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha means it can be introduced in either or, similar like in the case of ordinary bill. It can be introduced in either house, it can be rejected in either house, and both houses have total independence for its proving majority. Very important crucial point is that here it enjoys special majority. All the other three bills have to pass the bill by simple majority, but Constitutional Amendment Bill has to be passed by special majority. I have discussed this special majority in my previous video of various types of majority. You can go through the video after this, or you can watch that video before attending this lecture. Another important point is that after 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971, President only has one option, that is to give assent to Constitutional Amendment Bill. So this means that President don't enjoy any of the three vetoes: absolute veto, suspensive veto, and the pocket veto. It only has one option, that is to give assent to Constitutional Amendment Bill. Another important point related to constitutional amendment bill is that if amendment relates to federal structure. What is the federal structure? Federal structure means the relation between center and state. If somehow the relation is being affected, like the examples can be taken as the executive power of state governments, executive power of the union government, the any amendment or changes in the judiciary, whether high court, supreme court, prior recommendation or ratification of the state is required. So if amendment relates to federal structure, then half of the state government should ratify it with simple majority and send it to president. Then only changes can be made in the constitution. So it is a very unique type of feature provided by our Indian constitution to preserve the federal spirit in our constitution. Well, these are the various kinds of bills that are in our Indian constitution. You can take a screenshot if you want. I recommend to make notes like the same format, so it will become very easy for you to remember during the last stage of the exams. You can also take screenshot of this, the veto power of president. So let's sum up. First of all, we have the ordinary bill. Secondly, we have the money bill. Thirdly, we have the finance bill. And fourth, we have the constitutional amendment bill. Now, vetos or the options, you can say. Options. Ordinary bill, you have all the 4 options. In money bill, you have only 2 options. In finance bill, you have also 1, 2, 4 options. Sorry. You have 4 options. And in constitutional amendment bill, you have only 1 option. Ordinary bill, yes, suspensive veto, absolute veto, and pocket veto. Money bill, yes, and absolute veto. Finance bill, yes, suspensive veto, absolute veto, pocket veto. Constitutional amendment bill, only yes. So this is the final conclusion or the crux for this lecture. You can also take a screenshot of this, and hope you like the video. I have tried to make it very simple and very easy to understand. I have provided crisp notes. So thank you for watching the video. If you like, please provide the comments so that I can improve in my further lectures. Thank you for watching.